There's a couple of issues I want to talk to you about, but what that you've written about both in the Sunday Times and the Spectator this week. But since you know, the news agenda has crept up on us, your take on Justin Welby resigning today. He seemed to be the last person in Britain to realise that it was very much incumbent upon him to go, and in essence, and I'm not saying he was proactive in this, but he pretty much covered up for some mate of his for 10 years, at least 10 years, who he knew was up to no good in the paedophile sense, and in that respect you cannot carry on being the Archbishop of Canterbury.
I think probably not. I don't know the ins and outs of exactly what he did, exactly what he failed to do. It seems as if there was a failure to act. But then that's the man himself, isn't it? He is a corporate placeman. And he was given the job at the time when he could have gone to the rather more difficult John Sentamu, or even better, Michael Nasser Ali. These were all people who believed very strongly in the gospel, believed very strongly in Jesus Christ, which I'm never actually totally convinced that Justin does believe in any of it, you know. And there he is. He's very suave. He's an old Etonian. He worked for the oil industry, but now thinks it's evil. And he has presided over a calamitous loss of congregation to various other Christian churches, such as the Pentecostalists. So he's been an absolute failure as a Archbishop of Canterbury. You know, I mean, Archbishops of Canterbury have a long history in this country of standing up to authority, of having their heads chopped off from time to time, of standing up for principle. I could never see a single principle which he had. And it came to me when he opposed the assisted dying bill, that he spoke for a long period of time, but did not mention God once. Not once. You know. And he just reminds me a little bit of the bishop who I spoke to about 10, 12 years ago now, who, when I said to him, I was interviewing him on television, but we broke off for a quick break.
Yeah.
And I said to him, so what about heaven? What do you think about that? And he said, oh, don't be so bloody stupid, Rod. And I said, okay, fair enough. So I then said to him, what about God? And he went, well...
It's extraordinary. Here's Welby's religion, though. You know, and by the way, today, of course, Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell have lamented his departure. Rory Stewart, who, by the way, looks like Eddie Redmayne after a good kicking, said, very sorry to hear of the resignation of the Archbishop of Canterbury. I've worked with him for a long time and always been struck by his humility, openness, care and sense of public service. Alistair Campbell, nothing I have seen or heard about the Smyth case has changed my view that Justin Welby is a good man with a good heart, strong values and a commitment to public service. What they mean by that, Rod, is that he's left-wing. Yes,
that's exactly right. It's exactly right. And don't forget that these are the two men who promised us beyond all possible doubt that Kamala Harris would win the American election. Yeah. Why anybody takes these two morons seriously, I simply don't understand. Alistair Campbell has appalling political judgment. What he did have at one point was a grasp of how the press would cover politics. That's why he became famous. But he has an appalling grasp of politics. He knows what the press does, and that's it. Rory Stewart, you know, Alistair's pet little Tory, I just don't see any point to him at all whatsoever. We've got to stop talking about these people.
Shall we do that then? Because
no more Kimball.
Yeah.